morning. This is a hopefully quick video on this Black & Decker Dustbuster, my conversion of it that I did a long time ago from corded to cordless to corded. When the lithium-ion batteries died, I looked into fixing it and found that it was it would cost more to fix it than you could just buy a whole new dustbuster for. I think this is absurd because the batteries give out long before the device ever will. Checked some Amazon reviews and the same, and I also, from my personal experience, found that it lasts somewhere between 2 and 3 years. It depends on how much you run the batteries down and how often you use it. I've been using it corded and it works great corded, but you know, I can't really run it around everywhere. So what I did was that I found out, well, I've had these are generic battery adapters. It allows you to use a Makita adapter. There is another version I've done a video on. This one is only Makita, but there's another version where you can take the Makita one and you just remove 2 screws, slide it down, put the screws back in, and it'll work with a Bosch. But in fact, that's what this one is. See, you just remove these 2 screws, move it down, and it'll be a Bosch battery. So you could theoretically, if Bosch made a 14-volt battery, you could use it with this. Now, why 14 volt? Well, the original battery pack in this was 4 cells, which means it was a maximum of 16.8 volts and a minimum of well, 14.4 volts. So you can put an 18-volt battery on this, but you'll probably overspeed it and either burn the motor out or it could explode. So I really don't recommend you do that. However, Black & Decker has come out with a 21 volt. They call it a 20 volt, but it's actually a 21 volt vacuum, and it has 5 cells in it. Once again, it's very difficult. It was very difficult information on the milliamp hours of the newer one, or even this one. They don't seem to want to tell you what the milliamp hours are, but I believe on the newer one it's a 2.5 amp or 2500 milliamp batteries in it. I will tell you that this thing at 16.8 volts will pull 13.4 amps continuous running voltage or amperage. I don't know how much the 20 amp one would work, so that's the reason why the batteries don't last much more than about 10 minutes. Is this thing uses a ton of amperage. It's got a motor in there that's running at something over 30,000 RPMs. So, you know, you don't really want to make that go any faster. So, how did I connect this? To this thing? Well, I had removed, there was on the back of here there was a setup so you could set it down on a charger and it would just charge on that plate, and I took that off, but I've long since threw it away. And you can see that I ran a wire. These are oh shoot, I'll have to put the name up on the screen, but you don't really need these. You could wire these directly together. I only have this because I can run it off the battery, or I can run it off of my power supply. I can just unplug this and hook it up to my power supply. The way I did this was I just removed these 4 screws on this, popped this out. I had marked the holes and drilled them, and there are 2 screws in here. There's no connections, there's no electrical contacts in this area. And then I just drilled holes through this. This is where you would actually hang the unit up, and I don't have the bracket and don't really care. And I just used 2 I think they were 832 screws and some nuts with Loctite, just to make sure it didn't vibrate off or something. And then to give it a little bit more stability, because it had a tendency to, you know, you could tip it up and it would probably break. I just took an aluminum strap and I just drilled a hole smaller than the thread size of a couple of screws and just screwed them into the plastic directly. There's nothing behind here that you would hit, and I did have to cut down this screw a little bit because it didn't seem to interfere, but I just, you know, didn't want it to give it a chance. And so then, and this was the part that was expensive, and the only reason I would even suggest you do this is if you're one of the few people left on the planet who still has Makita 14.4 batteries. I looked up, I think it was a 3,000 or something, 5,000, I think it's 3,000 milliamp hour 14 volt battery from Makita is like $200 or something, 180. I'll look it up and put it back on here, or put it on the screen. But I got this as a cheap Chinesium knockoff battery, and it was like $58, which is still more than the this is like, I think you can get it for $49 now, $50, something like that. So, you know, like I said, unless you've got the batteries already, there's no reason to do this. So noise alert. I've not yet had a chance to use it for any length of time. I've instructed my wife that if she does use it, that she's only should use it for picking up small spills or getting to areas where you're trying to get dust out and you can't get something else in there. See, one of the issues on Amazon with this is people are complaining that they weren't able to vacuum their whole room, or they weren't able to vacuum all their stairs, like the entire staircase. They only got half of it done, stuff like that. And that's not what this is for. It's not meant to vacuum your entire car or your whole staircase or a room or your whole house. Its job and its reason for existing is to pick up small spills and get to places that maybe your other vacuum cleaners can't, or you just need a quick thing. You just reach for this thing instead of going and finding a vacuum and setting it up, plugging it in. You just got this thing, pick it up, vacuum, done. But you're not supposed to be using it to clean your whole house. When she had it and she was using it, that's what she was using it for, and she said it never lasted more than 10 minutes. So, anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching.